Without a doubt, you recognize it will be, like Noel has said, it's going to be a hard conversation. You need to allow people to be in their feelings. They will be angry. And we are having this discussion right now in front of cameras. So obviously, even if you don't tell them, they will watch this show. So can we make a pact, you and I?
Yeah.
Because this show is going to air in a week's time. So that within the week, you have the next 7 days, you have to tell your family. And I think even for yourself, coming here on some level, you knew.
Yeah. It's easier.
It was easier. This was your way of allowing yourself to face up to it. And it's time for a quick break. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Real Talk. Remember, you can join the conversation via the hashtag #RealTalkWithTemima. Tonight's conversation is on the abortion debate. So Esther, will you talk to your parents?
Yeah.
And if I had to ask you now, when it comes to the choice of abortion, have you made up your mind?
Yeah.
Will you have an abortion?
I can't.
Do you mean that? Is it something you mean, or you're just saying it right now, Esther?
I'm not saying it because we're here. I'm saying it because my guilt, I had not thought of my guilt. I had not thought of that baby, of my baby. I was focusing so much on the finance. Living alone, there are many people, like Mommy have said, on the street, they have their children. And when you pass and walk through Nairobi, you see them, and you're like, they have survived. At least I'm in a house. At least I have the capability to earn my coin in the end of the night.
You can hustle.
Yeah. So I will do it not for me, but for him or her.
Since you're keeping this baby, when are we coming to meet this young baby? When would you be due, ideally? This is a 2019 baby, definitely. Yes, God willing. So that now, ideally, you'd be due around June, July, 2019. So this baby coming into this world, and I'm sure this show is going to be on YouTube. They'll see that my mother fought for me. Yeah. She didn't have to, but my mother fought for me, right? What's that skill that you have? Because there could be someone out there who's watching, and they're so moved by your story, your decision to keep this child. And whether you're a hairdresser, and whoever has that opportunity, and we are watching, we are imploring you, reach out to Esther, get in touch with myself and the show, if you can get her started. Because for her, the bottom line was, kama tunaweza mpatia kitu, ama kazi ya kujikimu, then truly we'll have touched not just her life, but her child's life as well. So what is your skill?
I love beauty. I really love beauty. And I was thinking before I got my child, I was thinking of going back to school. But that was another thing that was making me feel like this child has just come at the wrong time. Because I'd already spoken with my parents and they were like, yeah, next year we'll have to get back to school. So even if they don't get me back to school, because now I have the responsibility, I have a responsibility, I can love to go back to school and study beauty.
There you go. Okay, so right now, as you wind up, I want to have Faith, because Faith, you deal a lot with support groups. So if there's any young girl who's watching, how could they get in touch with your organization? Whether they're like Esther, thinking about procuring an abortion, and they're watching us from any part of the country, or somebody who has gone through it, and like all the women and all the guests who've spoken to, they're still dealing with the trauma and the demons that come with having gone through this painful process.
Okay, thank you, Esther, for making that decision.
I think we need to give her a round of applause again.
And I want to say to every young girl out there who needs help, who needs support, who needs counseling, we are there for you. We are not there to judge the ladies because of what has happened. We are not there to condemn them. We are not there to, tell them, you did the wrong thing and blah, blah, blah. In fact, even for those who have already had abortions, we welcome them to come and seek help. So our organization is called Pearls and Treasures Trust. You can check us out on Facebook, on Twitter. Our office is located in Westlands, Waumini House, 5th floor. Call us on 0712 309 846. Thank you.
Okay. I want to open it up to the audience. Any comments? I saw earlier there's some guys who had comments. Sorry, very quickly.
I've looked at you seated there, and then I figured my mom, when she was 20, she was in a situation like you. She was to become a Catholic nun, and then when she was in her 4th year, she got pregnant. She conceived. And just like you, the first thought was to do an abortion. So she did the first time, the second time, attempts that is, and the third time also, and the baby did not come out. And so she thought, now, my life, I was to be a nun, I cannot be a nun. Now I'm pregnant, my parents are very harsh. So she thought of suicide. So she went to throw herself in the river. She comes from Oldonyo Sabuk, so she went to throw herself there. But just before she could, the brother got wind of it, and she was saved from it. They took her somewhere, they counseled her, they supported her. There was no funds, but there was love. And after some, okay, actually the 9 months expired, she never aborted. So she gave birth, and she gave birth to me. So looking back, because we just actually started having this conversation some time ago with her, I asked her, do you regret? She's like, I regret that idea of attempting to abort you. And it affects your baby, actually. If those thoughts of you are trying to abort your baby, very angry when you're pregnant and all that, they'll affect your baby. Don't be angry anymore. Fall in love with the baby already and accept your situation. And because it affects the future of your child, okay? Yeah, so I was actually trying to look at you, and I see my mother there, and then your baby could be me seated here trying to advise somebody else, okay? Yeah, I don't hate my mother. I love her a lot, and I loved her for the courage she took. You know, it was a really very difficult situation, but she gave birth to me. Your child one day will be very proud of you, just like I'm proud of you. Okay?
Okay, let's take comments from the audience.
Hi, Tamima. I'm Angela Chege from Nakuru County. I'm a mother of 1. And I am commenting here to encourage her. If you look at me, I don't look like a mother. And I'm very proud of that. Because if only I aborted, I would live with that guilt. Right now, my son is 3 years old. My parents take care of him. They still call me their last born, and I'm very proud. So kindly keep that kid. Was still in school when I got pregnant. Had to drop out of school, got back to school. Right now I'm in the university. And I can tell you, I hustle like I've never missed jobs. I always get opportunities. And my dad tells me, my dad is a pastor. And he always tells me, you know what, you're favored because of that child. You never know, he's carrying your blessings.
If I had to ask you, how old were you when you got pregnant?
I was 17, yes.
17, and you are 23, Esther. So your situation is a bit better, yeah?
Yeah.
You can see that, yeah? And are you seeing how God works? You were seated behind there,
Yeah.
and I told him, tell her to come, and I didn't know, yeah? So clearly this show was for you, Esther. Anybody else with a comment?
Hi, Tamima. By names, I'm Dan Hannington, currently pursuing law in Strathmore. And my question goes, what's the maximum number of times someone can abort, and also what is the age limit whereby when you abort you might be risking your life? And I also want to thank the ladies for sharing with us today and because of their courage and all. Thanks.
Okay. Maybe let me throw that to Dr. Chege. So his question, how many times can a woman procure abortions in her lifetime? Like, is there a maximum limit? And then, like he's also asked, at what stage as well? Is it not advisable to get an abortion?
How many times should a woman abort? We have heard the people who have shared, they have different numbers, but from the talk that I've heard, should be 0. So when it comes to the age limit, as long as a woman is pregnant, is a woman who can get pregnant from 15 years, some even at 40. So what is needed is just like counseling is done so that someone does not say, I'm not ready. There is this fear, all those fear of stigmatization by the society. It is you and your child and your God.
And probably as an OBGYN, if you had to advise girls out there, now when it comes to abortion, because with every guest that we had today, some procured it at 5 weeks, there were some which were as late as 6 months, so ideally, medically speaking, what are the risks involved?
The risks that are involved is bleeding, like we said, someone was bleeding for 2 months, that gives anemia, the health is affected. And future fertility, that's what perturbs me most. The other issue that they get into is the physical part. If they delay in terms of getting a baby, the husband start telling, okay, I know you may even be aborting. You had aborted even when you were high school. So, and that psychological issue, depression comes in, lack of concentration in jobs, losing jobs, financial depression. So for the young girls, if one is not able to protect herself from getting pregnant, if it happens, face it squarely, share with the people. I know when people are having sex, they don't tell everybody, but the product, the consequence, it will never be hidden for long.
Do we need to have a conversation on family planning in this country? Because the abstinence is taught. Yeah, abstinence is taught. Our curriculum pushes for abstinence. Most Kenyans go to church. Church promotes abstinence. I've never walked down the street and had somebody tell youth, please go and indulge in sex. Everybody preaches abstinence. But the reality is, sitting here today, we've had young people are sexually active. So then, does there need to be a conversation, especially with young girls, on if you're sexually active? P2 is not a family planning method.
Thank you. As you rightly say, P2, you need a maximum of 2 tablets per year. Not every week, every 2 weeks. It will destabilize your system, and it will affect many other systems. Family planning methods are there. We have even seen some mothers bring their daughters. They say, we have come because I know you, if this girl comes alone, you may not give the family planning method. I'm here. So we have that type of discussion. To mitigate against pregnancy, let's do it. That's my take. Everything, including family planning methods, counseling, talking, giving talks to the very young ones before they reach that level, because they'll actually reach that level. And let it demystify. Because initially, like our parents, there are some things they used to tell you, I don't want you to see this. And they are not telling you why. But currently, internet is there, the www, they are there, everybody can check what is happening, they hide in their room. So they have more exposure than maybe we had at our time.
And finally, maybe this one to Huntington, because so far tumefocus kwa wanawake tena sana, young girls. What about the young men in the room? Because these girls are not getting pregnant by themselves, eh?
It's true, but to be honest, they too have a responsibility on an individual level, because the lady is the one who is carrying the server. She can decide to hide the password. And if she does that, there will be no results of pregnancies. Number 2, the young men, I always tell them that the men are the leaders in the society. We need to take a responsibility. Before you engage a lady into sex, you need first of all to know when the results will come, are you ready for them? If you are not, stand off. Because we are the leaders. And I believe many young ladies are being drawn away into early pregnancies by the men. The convincing language, and most of the young men lie a lot to the young ladies. Some of them promise them heaven. But when the pregnancy comes, the ladies see the hell they have never seen. So it is good, the young men, to take a responsibility, to know that also God, who is the initiator of life, says that the man is the seed carrier. And he should be very, very much keen to know, where am I going to sow my seed? Not just sowing anywhere. And when you are sowing that seed, you should ask yourself, am I sowing ready to harvest? If you are not ready, you do not have somewhere to keep the harvest, hold on your seed. That is the message I can give to young people.
Obviously, this has been a heavy topic that we have covered for the last 2 nights, yesterday and today. Thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate your support. And as promised, I'm sure we're all expecting a Real Talk baby next year, June, July, right, Esther? Silio? Okay. If you're a young girl and you're in crisis, please check out the bottom of our screens. You can see the numbers that you can call, centers, support groups where you can get somebody on the other line who will be more understanding, talk to you, give you love, give you understanding, because bottom line, a child is a blessing. That's it from me, Tamima. Until next week, thank you so much for tuning in.
Life is sacred. This is Real Talk. My name is Virginia, hanging out together with Tamima right here. Welcome.
Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. This is Anja Chege, and we're having Real Talk with Tamima. Today, we're going to talk about abortion. It has been a main thing in our country right now, so tune in kindly. Welcome.
Hello, I am Tamima, the host of Real Talk with Tamima, and I would like to invite you to be part of my audience or a guest on the show. All you have to do, if you have a story that is very personal, very powerful, and you want to inspire other people, please reach out to the show via the email address on your screen or the number as well.